After leading 2 8-figure sales teams, I've broken down the 4 phases that you need to know to be able to get your business to hit 10 million a year. If you don't know who I am, my name is Usman Kiani, and I've already done this twice with other businesses. And now I'm doing it for my business as well as our sales consulting business, Guided Growth. There's 4 phases that you need to know about. And the first phase that you're going to go through is the pure violence phase. And in the pure violence phase, it's just getting from 0 to 50K a month. In this phase, it's actually just about being an absolute dog and doing everything that you need to be able to hit 0 to 50K a month. Most of these gurus online are going to be telling you how to get to 0 to 10K. But the truth is, 10K is the first thing you're probably going to hire like a VA or an admin person and just start handing over some tasks. But getting to 50K is just really simple. All you actually have to do is to be able to just target the right people. You've got to have confidence in your offer and one marketing channel. You're just going to have one place that you're going to target, whether it's going to be Facebook or YouTube ads, or you're going to do organic, whichever method that you're going to do. But just a quick tip, if in the beginning stages you don't have a big social media following, just start by running ads because it's way more speed. If you don't have the money for running ads, then just do the organic. And until you get the money, make some sales and then push it into paid. And then you're kind of going to have to find the balance between paid and organic. But the first thing that you need to do is get 0 to 50K. You don't need to hire a lot of salespeople or anything like that, but you might just hire one setter. The first setter that you're going to hire is probably just going to be at probably like 15 to 20K. And they're just going to maybe do some cold activity because you might not even have the lead flow. And because you don't have the lead flow, you can't really hire an outbound setter to take calls and do these, follow up the leads that you've got because you don't have the leads. So all you actually can do is hire like maybe a DM setter. And you can hire 2 or 3 DM setters, but because your offer's not truly been validated, they may struggle, then they might leave. So it's just good to get one, but a lot of it you have to do yourself. The truth is, in the first phase, you have to be waking up at 6 a.m. and when you wake up, you might just send some messages out. You might be in the evening just watching TV and you might have to do something to get some sales in. You just got to be an absolute dog. This stage is just about doing everything necessary. You know, if you're the type of guy who wants to go to Bali, or you're the type of girl who wants to just go to Bali and just chill and then look like you're being rich, you're never going to get out of this phase. The guy who's looking, or the girl who wants to look good or wants to be rich or goes to Dubai when they make 5K a month and wants to celebrate early, they're never going to get past this stage because they're just not ready to think big enough to reach all these other stages. You have to still feel poor when you're making 30, 40K. The truth is, you're not poor. You're probably in the 1% as soon as you're making 40, 50K a month. But you have to truly be chasing company growth in something really big. And you'd only do that if you get out of this phase as quickly as possible. Because the second phase is actually about getting out your own way. And getting out your own way is from 50K to 120K. And this is the stage where you actually let go of your ego. Because when you first make 30, 40K a month, all of those friends that you know, you're making more money than all of them. You probably don't know a lot of millionaires at this stage. And because you're making a lot more money than them, you have to have even more motivation to get out of this phase. When you're making $500,000 a year, which is 600,000 a year at 50K, most people are going to think, right, I'm doing great now, I'm happy. This guy is not happy. He has a chip on his shoulder. This girl is not happy. She has something to prove to the world or something to prove to herself. And for you to get out of this phase, it's about getting out your own way. And your ego is the first thing that you have to let go. But you are going to hire some salespeople here. The people that you're going to hire at this phase is probably going to be 2 setters and then 1 closer. The closer, you can probably bring him in at around 80K a month. So what I like to do is I want the CEO of this business, he's closing all of these deals. If you're the type to hire like an agency and be like, I don't like sales, I don't want to learn sales, sales isn't really my thing, I'm way more of a product operation marketer, you're going to get stuck here. The reason why is because you've given yourself this belief and you're going to stay stuck and you're never going to get to this phase. And these agencies who are going to close your deals aren't really going to allow your business to grow because they don't teach you the skills that you're going to need down here. The foundational skills that I will be going through later, and there is going to be a bonus that we'll go through on how to even get even further to past the 20 million a month, which I'll leave right to the end. But This phase is all about now hiring people. You're hiring your first 2 setters, and these setters are handling the lead flow that's coming in. So you have your CRM, you have your basic systems, other things that you would have at this stage, that you would have a CRM system. You are now data and tracking. You're starting to do that. That says tracking. So you're now adding all these layers onto your business. You know, a lot of people, they're amazing at CRMs. They've got their Go High Level, they've installed HubSpot, or they've got data and tracking, but they're stuck here. It was not needed. The only thing that was needed here was pure violence. If you just follow this roadmap, you will actually get to the 4 phases. Getting out your own way, 50 to 120K a month. At 80K, you can start handing over the sales to another closer. The way you're going to hand over those sales to another closer is going to be as such. You're the CEO, you're going to hire 2 closers, closer 1 and closer 2. You're taking 50% of the calls. These guys are taking 25% of the calls. The one who's better stays on. The one who closes more of these deals stays on. So this guy is not so good, he stays on, and now you split your calls 50-50. And then you can repeat the process until you find an amazing closer. So at this phase, all you need is actually 1 closer and 2 setters. And you should be closing all of these deals. If you have a product that's 2 or 3K, you're going to find that you're in the calendar a lot more. That might be the exception for you getting 2 closers. But if you have an 8K, a 15K, a 20K product, you only need 1 closer because you still want to be involved in the calls. Your lead flow, your offer validation isn't perfect yet. It's not fully done. There's still some work to be done by you as a CEO. So I would stay in the sales half the time. When you recruit that closer, you bring someone in at 25% and you bring the other guy in at 25%. And then you see who's better at the 2. You drop 1, you give him 50% of the sales, 50% of the leads, 50% of the appointments to the guy who's the better closer at the 2. And then you might even repeat that process over and over again until you get that 1 key closer. At this stage, all you have to be doing is starting to hire a few people, getting out your own way, getting out your own ego, letting ego grow. Know that you don't know anything. You're still making 1 million a year. You don't know dick. You still don't know anything. The next phase that you need to know when you're around 120K is learning to let go. The learning to let go phase, this phase is all about now you can actually start trusting others. The CEO that starts here believes nobody else can do this like me. The CEO that develops to phase 2 is a type of CEO that's like, you know what? I can trust others. I do have a few team members. You don't really know how to drive high performance, but you're running your ads, you've got leads coming in through your organic or through paid, and you've got some sort of machine building. You've also got on top of data tracking. You might just have even data tracking, not even amazingly, but you got like Google Sheets and there's like Trello boards. There's like a bunch of metrics being measured. They're all over the place. You've come into phase 3, and this phase is 120K to 400K per month. Now, in this phase, when you're making 120 to 400K, you have to actually start to let go and start to hire departmental specific people. So you might hire an ops person and then they manage your project management system. You hire, now you've got maybe 3 closers and you've got maybe 4 setters. But the key player that you're going to bring in at this stage is a sales manager. And this is why it's about learning to let go. You have to let go of the sales function with you being totally on top of it all the time. You had to do everything here. You had to do everything but manage everything yourself. But when your company starts to grow, now you got to bring a sales manager in. The reason why you got to bring a sales manager in is because the quantity of these sales takes way more attention. And if you put all of your 40, 50, 60 hours a week of attention into sales, you're not focusing on the rest of your business because you've got to be overseeing your operations, your delivery, your marketing. Everything else needs your attention. We're focusing on sales here. For you to really focus on sales and be here, I don't know how you would do that. Most people just get stuck and they're not willing to let go. And you have to let go. You got to bring in a sales manager. And the key tip here about hiring a sales manager, if you're at this phase, is actually having KPIs that are very clear. Now, most people know how to KPI a setter. It's going to be total dials, total sets and the short rate from those sets. If they're going to be outbound dialers, if they're going to be DMs, or cold outreach, you're just going to give them total outreach that you want, quality of conversation, total amount of sets that you want from them. With a closer, it's easy. Close rate, offer rate, and how much total revenue that they're going to bring in. Very easy KPIs. Most people get stuck on KPI in their sales manager. Now, the KPIs in your sales manager are very specific to what you want the team to perform. Now, we want the highest amount of close rate. So we want the sales manager to have a KPI, which is close rate. We also want the sales manager to have another KPI, which is quality. And how do you actually KPI quality? Well, what you would actually do at this stage is you would have a call grading sheet. If you want a free call grading sheet, if you see the link in the description, you can join our group and I'll have a call grading sheet that you can take for free and put it into your business. And it's in our school community. You want to actually measure quality of calls. How many, did they actually get the goal on the call? Did they ask all these company specific questions to your product? Then you can start grading calls where they need to be 80% plus or 85% plus for it to be a pass. By keeping the quality in line, whilst your business is growing, you ensure the right things are being said so the delivery team doesn't struggle and suffer. Because mis-selling and all these things start to happen when a company is growing and the CEO's handed things over to a sales manager. He's now no longer knowing what's exactly being said on calls, because this CEO that's growing to here, he's not always available to listen to calls, and the volume of calls that are happening, you're not really there. So you've got to be able to have a way to measure quality. And that's where you put a sales manager accountable for it and you do an audit. And just to tell you how we do audits, you actually can get a free audit from us. If you see the link below and you want to actually audit your business at any stage that where it's at, just click on the link. There'll be somewhere where you can book a sales audit with us and myself or someone from my team. There's no pitching on the call. So you won't be pitched to buy anything on the call. We will literally go through a sales audit. It's not something that we're going to be probably offering in the longer term, but in the shorter term, you can get a sales audit from us that we will do for your business. And it's something that we charge thousands of dollars for, and we are actually giving it available for free at the moment. So you can book that straight away. But you want to actually measure close rate, quality, and revenue. Revenue obviously is how the sales manager gets paid. Let's say you're giving them like 3% of total team collected. So you collect 400 grand. You're going to give this guy 3%, which is $12,000, £12,000. That's a great commission for a sales manager. He's already on a 4K a month basic. This guy's making 15K a month. He's not leaving you. He's going to stay driven to drive performance with these people. And remember, because you have to let go, you have to be able to create an opportunity for people to make a lot of money. The big thing that needs to happen here, you as a CEO really need to think about, how can I get people on my business to start making a lot of money? If they can make a lot of money, you can make a lot of money because they're incentivized to do so. The quality piece requires a sales manager to be a great coach. Now, coaching and developing people is the only way that he's going to get the quality up. Because if these guys, the setters and the closers, are saying the wrong things on the phone, what is the only way to change that? The only way to change that is to buy the sales manager to develop those people, to sit, listen to those calls, to coach them. And to coach those people, you need specific skills. We've trained over 200 sales managers in the last 12 months, and we actually train them for the business that we work with. And all the sales managers that come in, we always find a trend. They actually have been a good closer, they were confident at sales, but that's not the skill that's needed now. Now you've got to be way more of a people's person. You've got to be the guy who can develop anyone. Think about the sales manager that you're going to hire. Let's say this, you own a football team, you're the owner, and you are now going to bring in a football manager. The football manager that you're going to bring in, you're going to know the personalities of all your team members. Think about, you've got someone who likes to go out and party all the time. You've got that captain who's always focused on the team. This football manager has to come in that you're going to hire for your team. He's got to be able to handle all of these personalities and to get them to perform. No different to a sales manager. This sales manager has to handle these closers who are super direct, super driven, A-type of personalities. Sometimes it can be dicks. He's got to be able to handle these setters who might not want to do all the dials all the time, who need pushing a lot of the times to dial as much as they need to hit 250, 300 dials a day. This person is the driver for these people. So when you hire this person, if they're coming from your business, if it's a close that you're upgrading, you've got to make sure that he's or she's the type to actually drive performance and can manage close rate, quality, and total revenue. And if you put these 3 KPIs for your sales manager, you're going to find that you actually have a better sales manager because he's incentivized to be a better coach. Because every time the quality dips, you're going to find a dip in revenue. And to get that up, he or she has to be a better coach. So this is the learning to let go phase. The next phase is the one that everyone wants to know about and is the one that every CEO wants to get through. So if you've got all of these things in place, now phase 4 is about you being professional. And for you being a professional, getting to 400 to the magical 883K a month for the 10 million goal. To hit that 10 million goal that we want to hit, you need to be professional. And to be professional, what do you need to bring in? Well, you need to change how you actually have been building this business. And I'm telling you this now so you can actually build it this way from the start. You need to have a mission. You need to have values. Most people are going to think, what? You're making 10 million a year and you're not giving us more tactics on that we need for like setters and closers and ramping KPIs. Why do I need mission and values? Well, when you're making $500,000 a month and your lifestyle changes and your employees see you getting rich and they see you now changing your lifestyle, changing your energy, changing your friends, changing your watch, changing your car, and then they just think, like, why are we actually here? Why are we just watching this guy or this girl, this CEO just get richer and richer? Why are we even doing this? What is this all about? Well, the mission is what's really going to drive you. We have a very clear mission at Gather Growth. Everything is about leadership and helping CEOs become the leader they need to build a high-performing sales team. And all of our clients are chasing the 8-figure dream. And to do that, we actually give them all the tools to build that entire business. So we get some people coming in at this stage, we get some people coming in at this stage, but at every stage, the first thing that we always focus on with them is mission and values. We often will ask you, if we asked one of your closers or your setters what your mission statement is or what your company values are, will they know? And commonly, the answer is no. We do this on our audit. When your sales reps don't even know why they're working towards something, they're not truly aligned. They're just there for that number. The motive of that person is not the same. It's way harder to manage someone when it's like, hey man, you didn't hit your KPIs, compared to, hey, you didn't hit your KPIs. You know our values are speed, integrity, and commitment, which we have spoken about a lot. How is this related to our values? Do you actually represent what we are working towards? Or the mission. You have one clear mission for your business. Think about your offer, think about the audience that you help, think about why you help them. You want to have some sort of branding work done with some sort of external company if you don't have this, or you can use AI and get some sort of mission and values done. But this is so important. When you actually get the mission and values done, then the next thing that you need to add is a better CRM, better tracking. Like you might use dashboards like Pletco, you might start upgrading your CRM from Go High Level and moving on to HubSpot. You just start to professionalize the business and start adding more and more stuff in. But also at this stage, you might add legal, finance, some sort of HR. Why do I need to add all of these things? Well, like when you're making this much a year, you now have a target on your back. People are going to start suing you. People are going to start having wanting a piece of your pie because you're getting bigger. People are going to want to attack you in some way and you are way more vulnerable. And your company needs to add all of these things in. When I worked at Virgin Active, this company is making 48 million a year and I'm head of membership at the time. And I'm looking at the company and there's a HR team at the head office of like 6 people. I'm thinking, what do these people even do? Why do we need 6 people? A director of people, a director of HR. Why do we need all these people? Well, HR is needed. There's a reason why all these big businesses have them. It's needed because without them, all of these employees are in a growing company, because now you could have 20, 30, 40 employees, contracts, onboarding, if they turn up late, if they have a dispute at work. All of these things, who is going to manage all of them? It needs to be someone. Someone needs to be accountable for it. Those issues weren't around when you were here. When it's just that one setter who's not doing his job, all right, mate, just go home. But when you're here and you have 40 staff, you now need to change the way you're running. The money, becoming more profitable, looking at your books, that needs to be way more in detail. The legal side, contracts for every single person. I know companies that are making 10 million a year. They don't even have staff contracts. You know why? Because they are internet businesses. Internet entrepreneurs don't see the importance of these things. The main bit of luck that I had was I was a part of such a big machine. In my early 20s, I joined these companies that were making tens of millions. So I leveled up very fast because I became a part of this big machine, and I realized, right, I can go from a sales rep, sales manager, a head of membership, and then straight after a sales director. When I went through all of that transition, you see at every single level. And now when I actually work with entrepreneurs and with our businesses really managing that sales function with the business, we look at all the things that are missing, and you can actually add all of these things in a lot earlier. You don't need to upgrade your CRMs here, but you do need to at some stage. You do need to start thinking about better tracking. We actually use a platform called Pletco, if you want to look at it, and then this is how we actually have custom dashboards built. We can show it on the screen whilst I'm talking now on the different metrics and that we can track, and we can help a CEO, because this CEO is busy. He's got so much to do. He should be focusing on the vision. You've got your operations person, you've got your people who are the doers and the managers. But this is really what needs to be developed in your business. And this is where most people don't let go, don't actually get to, because they get stuck around this phase, around the 3-4 million phase. Most businesses actually can just go bust at that phase, because you think if you're making 3 million a year, how will you fail? Well, the entrepreneur ends up having burnout. They end up feeling so stressed they don't enjoy their business anymore. This person who's here knows that he has to be even better and even more professional. You didn't need to be as professional when you were down here. When you have 30, 40 people looking at you and they're wanting your advice and they're only going to work for you because they respect you, you need to be a certain level of leader. And this level of leader needs to be professional. So that level of professionalism that you carry yourself with, it needs to continuously go up. Mission, vision, better tracking, better systems, legal, finance, HR, all these things need to come in place. This is really from a sales perspective. I can give you more of an operations perspective, a marketing perspective, but this is more of like a sales lens and all the things that you need to look at as a CEO. If this is something that's actually useful to you, I would say comment below, tell me this is useful to you, because I don't actually know if this information is relevant. So if it is, comment below, tell me it is, and I can make more of these high-level videos. If you want to see more videos like this, click on the left-hand side and you can watch one of our older videos where we actually talk way more about sales information. And on this side, you can subscribe to the channel and actually just watch more of these videos and ring the bell icon so you can get notified when I put up content just like this.